of competition. Another team will want to etch their name into greatness.
Oh yes, it's what we've been waiting for. The quarterfinals of Katowice, live from the Spodek, Na'Vi vs Outsiders.
7 seconds.
Screaming for help. If he could just deny the bomb. The round is done. NPL with a hero play. A triple for good measure. Any chance? A good frag. But just playing the clock, it's Tyron to close. Spirt secures 7. That's a half they can work with. Oh, Kyra, he's got it down 100-0 in the Molotov. His kick can only the one. And down goes Fame. Not ready here for this. There's Electronic again with impact. Electronic race to close. We're off to the semi-finals. Na'Vi condemn Outsiders to a pack in their suitcase. This one's getting away from Liquid. A flawless round, a flawless scoreline.
Is there time for a resurgence?
Liquid are coming in confident. A lot faster, a lot more in your face than what we've seen so far. Magisk is running away. Liquid have turned this game around. And this series, this map keeps getting ever closer. And now, with that swing, Liquid complete the comeback.
Liquid have no idea.
They're chasing Ghost. Anyone home? They don't even fight Apex and he's rubbing it in.
Easiest clutch of his damn life.
One kill in the right place. Oh, the bomb down. Oh, one step. Never got it. He shot him at his feet. But this one's coming down to the wire. Liquid, they're going to the semi-finals.
Vitality checking into Heartbreak Hotel tonight.
To absolutely tear Heroic limb from limb, but this is a different Danish squad we are seeing today.
Ace right now. This will be a 2-on-5 and an ace for Hunter. OC is dead! And Hunter shreds Liquid.
Nico Deagle down in pit needs to offer some resistance here. Yekindar gone.
The D doesn't betray him this
accusations. An absolutely wild time. You had a situation where someone like Flusha just had the craziest impacts, always seemed to be in the right place at the right time.
He was a cheater in everyone's opinion, and there was no evidence or nothing, and he kind of overcame it by accepting it and taking it in as being a part of him. It's just a really weird thing looking back at it now.
Then there was his right-hand man, an anti-hero in the eyes of many for a very different reason.
If you'll allow me to be completely honest, I think JW was a piece of shit to be up against on a server. He was just defining all the rules. He would never play by the book.
If you compare to football, he was playing dirty, but he was not really doing anything wrong. He was just doing his thing.
It's definitely on a top 2, top 3 list of the player I dislike playing the most.
And Yanko, we have quite the best of 5 on our hands today, don't we?
Yes, I think we have.
We move on to talk a little bit about G2 because they found themselves in the quarterfinal, right? I thought that was going to be a series that set everything alight, but G2 fell a little bit flat in that one.
Yes, the final before the semi-final, before the final. The defending champions fall in the quarterfinals. I think just G2 still not really ready to play with this roster. You know, individually they weren't on point. As a team, they just got outplayed completely by FaZe, which set them up for a semi-final berth against Mouse.
And then continuing the series of heartbreak, of course, Cloud9. I mean, as a team that I feel we've sort of given up, right? We don't treat the heartbreaks from Cloud9 with as much gusto as we used to.
You know what team
Cloud9 reminds me of?
Hit me.
North.
That's a
team
deep cut.
just
That's a
like-
deep cut.
Yes, because they have even much better players, but that was a team that just no matter what happens, they would fail. They would find a new way to lose to a point where you just couldn't believe what's happening in front of your eyes, right? Like even the Mouse series, like they had it. They were half a second away from getting into the next round. Instead, they lose, they drop to the lower bracket, and they're eliminated.
I'm going to say that Cloud9 are even worse than Mouse, even worse than North, because at least North won on land once. Throwback to Stockholm 2018.
How did we
Cloud9
circle
do
back to
that? No.
MSLB and Sniper? How did we
MVP
walk it
winner
back?
as well. Anyway, should we take a look at what's on the line? Because of course we've got prize money, we've got a trophy, we've got a title, but we've also got a very important slot at the Intel Grand Slam, which for FaZe, this is hella important because you need to get one of these top tier events to be, moving yourself forward and netting that Intel Grand Slam.
Exactly. You need a championship level event, which are IEM Katowice and IEM Cologne, and any other 3 tournaments, right? And you can see here we have 5 teams with one win actually, but FaZe is the one who won the last one in Sydney, right? So here, if they are able to take down Spirit, all of a sudden they only have 2 left, and it can be any 2 tournaments, and they will have 8 more chances to win 2.
And imagine the level they would show. Like if we're forecasting a victory of FaZe Clan here in Katowice, who's to say they're not favorite to show up at these events that Yenko is talking about, Chengdu, Pro League? I mean, they would be the team to take down.
They could run it back and win
Pro
it
League
for
again.
the second time at Pro League, the Intel Grand Slam.
Bring all of the golden bars on the table.
The absolute classic. But yeah, that is what's on the line. Of course, for Spirit, that would be the first notch on the Intel Grand Slam belt. But I think we should contextualize exactly the journey that some of these players have been on, right? Obviously, coming into CS2, brand new iteration of the game, a team that we didn't expect necessarily to be making it to this grand final versus FaZe, who have been led by the helm by Carrigan, I would say is, one of the biggest mentors of this space, particularly when we look at the narrative with Frozen, right? He promised him, if I have an opportunity to get you on a team, I will do that. And he lived up to his word.
And listen, talk about having stamina in your career, right? We are used to Carrigan being in winning ways in the last 2 years. You think about the double-double in 2022. There's trophy here in Katowice, in Cologne. There's a major coming out. But he had to go through so much. He was removed from teams. He had to go back to... He had to play in NA Counter-Strike. He had to be an Envious for a while in order to earn his spot again. And now within his FaZe clan, he's got all of the pieces he needs. He brought Frozen from Mouse, as you mentioned, and everything is connecting, and he's truly fulfilling this mentorship role that he's got.
And I think also some of that roster building is down to him. I mean, one of the conditions he had coming to FaZe was that there will be a budget for transfers, right? And making things happen. And he managed to, 2021 was ugly, but ever since that, ever since Robs joined the lineup, FaZe has been a contender team. They won Katowice, Cologne, and a major in the same year. Never been done before in history of Counter-Strike. And yeah, just an incredible job in Kerrigan's second stint with FaZe Clan.
And on the other side of the server, we have Chopper, who's been, a mainstay of the Spirit roster for 5 years now. It's kind of crazy to look at his tenure, which is why I've classified him as the everyman. It doesn't make his achievements any less incredible, but he is resourceful, he's determined, and he's incredibly loyal to this roster.
What an absolute grind it's been for Chopper to try to earn his stripe in the CIS region and in Counter-Strike as a whole. It's like he just wakes up every morning, goes and hit the goddamn cardio again and again and again every day. From Vega Squadron to Spirit to another type of Spirit, having players coming in and out. For the longest time, being a captain whose best player are going to be poached, whose best players are going to leave you because it feels like there is a ceiling. And maybe, just maybe now, he's starting to sort of flip the conversation. Hey, maybe my team is the one you want to join. Look at the players I have now. I am the golden spot. I am the golden goose. Come to me.
The Snappy of the CIS scene, in a way, right? Always had to do more with less, and finally has some amazing pieces around it, and we can see what it leads to.
Let's talk AWPers for a second. Brokey, the straight shooter, both outside the game and inside the server. You ask him a question, you get the honest response from him.
And a very brief one at that.
Yeah, he keeps things, clean. And inside the server, he's been delivering on all fronts, right?
We have our friend Maui who loves to call the FaZe procrastinator. I would say Brokey's a procrastinator. Like, he literally illustrates this idea where you can see him go missing throughout an entire group stage. You don't even mention his name. You don't really know what's going on. And there's going to be these peak moments in playoffs where he shows up massively and you're like, oh, right, that's Brokey. But I forgot about it. MVP in Katowice 2022. He's been showing up once again in the group stage, and he was instrumental in some of the victories, putting FaZe on that track to the grand final.
And I think it's also the versatility of FaZe that makes them so dangerous. On a team that has Robs, that has now Frozen, Rain, even Kerrigan. How much space are you going to have to go for play? Sometimes you just have to not necessarily do what you're told, but kind of play standard, play off of your teammates, and that's why Brokey isn't always in the spotlight, but usually when he plays well, that's when FaZe goes on to lift the trophy in the
And
end.
think about him being, you know, the 2022 MVP of this very tournament. What arc he's had since then. Obviously now still on the same roster, but that was such a statement game for him, right?
It was, and one of the reasons is the whole stand-in situation. So everything was a little bit more chaotic. FaZe's game was more chaotic, and Brokey naturally thrives in the chaos as a player. It's more about when things are calmer, also finding ways to have impact and to deliver.
I feel like it also transpires within the server. Like whenever it's chaotic situation, there's a smoke to be crossed, there's a fast scope to be found. Brokey's your man.
Shiro on the other side of things, we've branded him as the comeback kid because let's be honest, guys, when we saw him leaving Cloud9, joining Spirit, a lot of us were thinking, why are you taking that risk, dude?
I mean, listen, Cloud9 was a disappointment. I'm just going to put it out there. When the roster was put together and then Electronic and Perfecto joined and you had this Shiro, Axile, Hobbits combination, we thought, holy hell, we are looking at the next best team in the world. The trophies are going to come raining in. It's going to be beautiful. Nothing turned. Nothing transpired at all. Huge disappointment. And for him, it's been a story trying to redeem himself already from the previous roster. So I think comeback is accurate. I just think the comeback just barely started.
He didn't leave for Spirit. He just didn't want to be in Cloud9 anymore. That's how bad things got. He didn't have, you know, an offer waiting for Spirit, and that was going to be the move. He just benched himself and waited to see what happens.
I'm out.
I think looking at, you know, that Cloud9 lineup and how good they were during the online era while they were Gambit, and then, you know, not really being able to translate that into LAN. Shiro was under so much stress and pressure. I mean, come on. The guy had tears in his eyes doing a live game. That's how difficult things were. And you can see him now in Spirit. He's having fun again. He's enjoying Counter-Strike and competition. And he is still, I think, third, fourth, fifth rated, the highest rated player of this tournament. Didn't feel like he was doing all that
That's
much,
right.
to be honest. He's just like doing his job, chilling, and Spirit is playing so well as a team that for him it's a completely different environment to be in, and now he's in the grand final of a championship level event.
And we're getting to witness that comeback arc, you know, happen before our very eyes, which is a kind of a similar situation for Rain. Not exactly with the comeback narrative, but this is an opportunity to either redeem himself for being absent, obviously not his fault. He did have
Hey, it was
COVID,
not his fault.
back when they lifted the trophy in 2022, or it's going to be a tragic end because he's been so close. He was part of that squad, but he wasn't one to be having his hands on that trophy 2 years ago.
And I think the whole idea of comeback also applies to Rain in a grander scheme of things. When you think about what online Counter-Strike did to him, and on the offset of that online Counter-Strike period, he was one of the names that we wanted to see out of FaZe. People were calling for his name. Very obviously a lack of motivation at the time. His level drops a little bit. You're already thinking in the future. You're thinking, hey, Frozen might replace Rain at some point, earlier than when that happened. And then the LAN comes back, the sort of big stage game kicks in again, and this is where you get to see what he's made of. Once again, truly shining in very intense moments. The third map that we just witnessed, the second map we witnessed against Valve, crazy as well. Here, he had an ancient performance, and it is, at this point in time, it's not coincident anymore. Like, we know he shows up. We know these moments are where he strikes and where he shines, and that in itself is a comeback.
One of the absolute best teammates you can have, and an ice-cold player. He will play the same no matter the situation, no matter how big the stage is, and that's just such a great thing to have as a coach.
And extremely selfless as well. That's one of the points we mentioned. If someone is being brought in and there needs to be a tiny few adjustments here and there just to make sure that player, Frozen in this case, is comfortable, Rain is never going to be a problem. So, yep, whatever, I'm going to do it. Whatever you need from me, whatever role, whatever position, more passive, more aggressive. Hell, he plays B on Overpass now. He used to be A the whole time. He literally sort of invented the meta to be aggressive with the rifle. Now he's like, I'm going to play behind this pillar, and it's fine. He doesn't make a fuss about it. He just gets the job done.
And this is where the head-to-head gets very interesting when we bring in the Spirit side of the equation, because who else could it be than the Donkmeister in that entry role? We heard it from him not 1, 2 times. He wants to take down Rain again on this big stage today, Yanko.
Yes, indeed. And I mean, we are witnessing history in the making here with this kid and Spirit. I mean, the 1.63 rating so far in this tournament. The next closest debut big event is at like 1.21 or something like that. I mean, over 100 ADR, almost 2 impact. On top of the only thing you can point out is yesterday was his first, match on the stage. Was it any different?
No. It wasn't, absolutely not. And I know everybody's so eager to throw all of the accolades at him, and I'm one of them too. I'm ready to jump on that hype. But when it comes to the eye test, when it comes to the feeling of watching Donk play, it truly seems like he's one of these generational geniuses, as in, there's been Simple, there's been ZywOo, and now there's Donk. There are 3 players in the history, or in my recent histories of Counter-Strike, who have given me that feeling when you were watching them play, thinking, wait a minute, like this guy is doing something I haven't thought about, I didn't think was possible, and he's making it flawlessly without any problem. Plus, it's with the rifle. It's not an AWPer out there. There's been plenty of AWPer, Simple, ZywOo, m0NESY. These snipers have bended the rules of Counter-Strike. Not the case for this man over there. It's a rifle.
And so far, he's passed every test. It was okay. A big event gets it done. Top 5 team, Na'Vi comes in, done. FaZe, done. Stage, Falcons. I mean, okay, Falcons are not a great team right now, right? But they are a stage team. They are the ones with those experienced players. Didn't matter, and it's kind of fitting that it's a rematch against FaZe in a best of 5. The sort of final boss awaits, but so far we have no reason to believe he's going to play any different or that it's going to impact him in any way.
I love how he gave us some honesty yesterday as well, because we asked him, did you get a little bit nervous? Surely you felt some butterflies in your tummy before you walked on stage. And he was like, yeah, of course I did. Anybody would. But when he put the headset on, when you get fully in the zone, didn't matter for him. Somebody else that that's true for is Frozen. We call him the young veteran, which is very true when he was back on the Mao squad. But, this is a very different iteration, a very different evolution of Frozen coming into this FaZe team.
I agree with you, and I think the term applied to Mao's Frozen, it doesn't apply in FaZe anymore, because he's definitely in a new chapter of his career. His archetype sort of changed as he put on the FaZe jersey, but so did the expectations, right? I think he created a lot of conversation around him. Where do we rate him? How do we value him as a rifle? Does he have a ceiling? And some of the way out was saying, well, listen, his team is not going good enough. He doesn't have the supporting cast. They are all crumbling in high tense moment. So that's why he's got everything he needs. He's got incredibly experienced players, people who have won, who are continuing to win, and he's got the chance to put all of the doubts to bed today. He's in the leading in terms of MVP race for his team. Would he succeed here? That would be finally this championship event that he's been looking for.
I mean, it's almost as big of a contrast as you can have, going from one of the youngest tier 1 teams to one of the oldest and most experienced, right? So the environment changes completely. You're surrounded by players who know how it is to play big games, and again, when it's not up to you to carry the team. Like, you just need to do your job. It releases such a huge weight off your shoulders.
Somebody that I thought was a little bit older, speaking of age, than he was, Magix. I feel like he's been Chopper's sidekick for such a long time. Then I realized this kid's only 20 years old. Like, he's been, a name that we've had on the tip of our tongue, and I feel like that loyalty for the side of Team Spirit is paying off, because this roster, this has got to be the best he's ever played with, right?
Oh, definitely, and he's gone through thick and thin on that Spirit jersey as well, with Chopper, so many different lineups, and maybe I'm just realizing some comparison can be drawn to Rain in the sense of Magix is just going to do what's needed, and it doesn't feel like there is a whole amount of ego that's going into it, where he's going to stand his ground and say, no, listen, this is what I want to play, we're going to do it my way or the highway. It's not what's happening with him. He's very serviceable, he's very gullible in what he needs to do within the team, and that has such high value, because he can do the dirty work, the work that we don't get to talk about too much, because the numbers are a little bit more tempered. But believe you me, how important he is currently within this Spirit sort of puzzle for everything to work.
I think the most so on the CT side. Like, he's the B anchor, or the small side anchor on a lot of these maps for Team Spirit, and he's just been tremendous. Also holding and playing more passive, but more so on those information aggressive plays when Spirit is trying to do something. He's just been a force to be reckoned with.
Yeah, I mean, when you put a chair in front of him as well, he says, how hard do you want me to flip that chair, Matthew? Maybe you should have one on the stage
He just got influenced by Trace. That's what happened. I don't think he wanted to
sorry, Magix. Let's talk about the final player on the side of FaZe. That is, of course, Rops. I think we can term him as kind of the CS2 mastermind, the biggest nerd of Counter-Strike 2 since its inception, right? Because he's been looking at the code, he's been cracking it, he's been breaking it, and he's been innovating in this new iteration of CS.
He was definitely instrumental when CS2 came around, because the way he approached it was the healthiest, most optimized way possible. He just said, yeah, the game isn't perfect, but I'm about to learn the hell out of that game. I'm gonna learn every single crack and nuke, every single tricks I can put to the table. I am going to set trends on how to play my positions, and he did so beautifully, and obviously it helped FaZe get that head start. But I gotta say, it's been a bit of a moderated Rops that we are seeing right now. Where are all the threats threads about he's the best CS2 player in the world. Like I feel for 7 weeks, that's all I could read everywhere. And he's been a little bit more tame. So maybe he's also trying to find his groove within this new phase with Frozen coming in. He said that the roles haven't exactly changed for him, but maybe the way the team evolves or plays or behaves is a little different, and he's got to adapt to it. Because I don't think we're seeing peak Robs quite yet, and that could be a terrifying prospect actually if you're going up against him.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think he can stay dormant for much longer. You expect him to step up now in the grand final. Hey, the update was out for 12 hours, the last one. Robs already came up with 2 different pistols that FaZe was using where he buys a Zeus. They work both times. He's even looking at the pixel in HUD. So what's the furthest away he can stand that's going to guarantee a kill? And it's always great to have a player like that on your team. He's proven time and time again as well on the big stage. He's a great player, and it's going to be fun watching go up against Spirit today.
The final player on the side of Team Spirit is, of course, Zontix, who I would brand as kind of the unsuspecting hero. He even said it in a HLTV interview yesterday. He said, you know, I don't care if people aren't talking about me. As long as we're winning trophies, I do not give a shit.
You know what I loved the most? In that interview with James on the stage, right before the game against Falcons, talking about being nervous on the stage, what will be different. He's saying, well, I actually just thought about it, like what will actually be different? Is there a reason for me to feel nervous? Like, and logically, I couldn't find a reason, so I don't think I'll be nervous, which is just for such a young player and inexperienced to have that process. Amazing. And in that Falcons game, he was very impactful, doing a great job anchoring the bomb sides, CT and T sides. And yeah, I'm just impressed by him. He has definitely been the silent star of this team.
Oh, definitely. I mean, there's only so many words we can use in the segment and so much light we can shed on a team. So he's kind of third in that sort of line and order. And I think it's a bit criminal. What he's doing is very impressive with Spirit. You're right, talk about the resilience for him to just... And it's not only just the amount of kills, it's where and when he gets these kills. There were a few moments in that Falcons game where the round is on a knife's edge, and it's basically you either get 2 kills right now or the round is lost, and he gets these 2 kills, and maybe at the very end it's only 14, it's only 15, but you can retrace back to these moments and you know why they won it. And I think he's a guy whose nerves are tested a lot in these situations, and he steps up most of the time.
Well, we've been talking about heroes, but I believe we do have a legend from the past that we can be checking in with, courtesy of James Banks.
I'm giving it thanks.
Hello, mate. Hey. Good. Oh. Nice stairs. You remember these, right?
Yeah, man, the best stairs. When you're preparing here is one of the hell moments, you know.
Oh, yes, a very special moment. But it's been 5 months since we've seen you compete, mate. Back at the EPL Season 18 Grand Finals you were in. How's the time off been?
Beautiful, beautiful. Yeah. I was waiting for an event like Katowice because that was very hard to find really beautiful matches, and this event is surprising me with the way how everyone plays and a new game, so it's much better to see. And especially from here, finally I'm going to watch a final as a guest.
You get to enjoy and watch it all go down. I want to touch on your opinions on CS2 though, because when it first came out you were not so happy with it, but it's progressed a bit, there's been some updates, so what do you think of it now?
Yeah, I feel the last update where they add new case, where they changed white peak, I feel like it's the best update that they can ever made, and I even wrote it in Twitter, like, I'm happy with this update. Nice. Because like I wasn't playing a lot for last month, but all of the players were saying like it was even too hard with Zop to kill a white peak guy, so let's see how it is.
Onwards and upwards, and progression is what we want to see here. But you've also been busy outside of the server. You've launched All Stars Promotions with your brother, and this is an educational project. So what more can you tell us right now?
It's just going to be really nice courses where everyone can play casually, and even if they want professionally. And there's going to be tournaments as well. There's going to be giveaways and all of this stuff. And I'm pretty sure, as I said before, that's going to change CS industry because people, they will play much better, and it's going to be much harder to play against them in any competition, in any casual games. Yeah.
Could it help me because I'm still very bad?
Yeah, of course, I'll give you a free course, yeah.
Hey, we'll take that, we'll clip that. We know that's what's going to go down. For you, though, being at Katowice, right, and seeing this all again, has it given you that thing of like, okay, I want to be on this stage, I want to play?
A bit, yeah. When I came here between Ents and Falcons, the third map, there were so many people and I was enjoying it a lot. Like, I'm not saying I had goosebumps, you know, but it was so beautiful to watch, so beautiful to see it in crowd and just enjoy.
The goosebumps come when you're on the stage playing again, and I want to know this, Sasha. I think the whole world, the whole community wants to know this. When are you coming back? Are you coming back?
I hope after major, because I mean I'm a sixth player for Navi on this major, but I hope nothing gonna happen with their roster because they were practicing really hard after I took break. And yeah, I just want them to progress and let's see what's gonna happen after major.
Now you mentioned Navi though. Are you happy with where you've seen them go? Because obviously the transition to an international team has been quite hard, right, for sure. But Alexi seems to be leading very well. Wonderful's performing. We're seeing improvements.
Yeah, a lot of improvements, and I was actually surprised how Wonderful gonna adjust. And I see that he's doing good games. You know, he's showing his skills. And yeah, as always, you need always more time, especially when Wonderful came. And I see their progression. I was a bit frustrated when they didn't make playoffs, but it's just a beginning. I mean, I'm pretty sure they have a high ceilings for major. Like, I don't want to say this tournament is not prestigious because this tournament is insane tournament, but still everyone's gonna aim in as a major, and always after majors happening some roster changes. And yeah, I mean, I wish them good luck, and I'm gonna watch every game like I did before.
Oh yeah, so I see you posting on Instagram, right? You're still in your jersey, you're watching, you're supporting them. Lastly, Sasha, anything you want to say to all the fans out there, because they are missing you, that's for sure.
Yeah, guys, thank you everyone who's still watching Counter-Strike. I know that we are all waiting for updates all the time, but trust me, if it's not about you, if it's not about everyone who's watching in front of the screens, not about, I mean, people who's here as well, trust me, it's a huge crowd and atmosphere is always better and better. No matter what kind of version of CS we're gonna play, we should always support this game, and I hope you will have a nice time.
Counter-Strike forever, that's what it is. Let's see Simple back on the server, hopefully soon. Nice one, mate.
My friends, to the cathedral of Counter-Strike!
Elevate, level up, way to the top, headed to the peak. All them boys wanna talk, hit them out of love, but don't got receipts. I ain't gonna lose it now. Gotta keep it moving now.
Smokes. You see a double smokes in the same place there. Simple just jumping casually into the side. Wait, what was that?
Never miss a play again.
Simple, that's not allowed. This is not FPL. This is a major.
Finally. With Face It Watch, you're in control. Switch between player POVs live and see the game through the eyes of any pro. Never miss a moment with replays. Relive each highlight on demand from all angles. Watch it, control it, face it.
Zontix, how are we doing today before the grand final?
As always.
You told me yesterday in the interview, right? You said, okay, you are not going to feel indifferent. You know, if you guys play your own game, it'll work that way. It certainly did. But did you enjoy it all?
Yeah. It was better than Face It.
Definitely a lot better than Face It. What have you guys done today, though, to prepare for the grand final differently? Because you've already faced FaZe before.
I cannot say. Like, we prepared like as always, you know, nothing new.
Okay, you prepare as always. It seems to work out for you guys. You already beat FaZe once before. How different do you think it will be, though, on the stage? We know they are a stage team. They love it.
Like, I don't know. I don't know. We'll just play. Like, I think if we'll play our game, we'll win. That's it.
The same answer as yesterday. Okay, so we're going to win this final no matter what, right? Just play your game.
Yeah.
That's it. All right, Zontix, good luck, man.
Neo. Welcome to the Spodek for the final, which I can only imagine is a very special and overwhelming feeling knowing that 10 years ago here today, you lifted that trophy.
Yeah, it's dreams coming true, you know. I've always dreamed of coming back to Spodek. It never happened, never as a player. So I'm very happy to be here again, and yeah, it's going to be a very fun game to be part of.
A fun game, perhaps a difficult one, of course. Team Spirit has been playing incredibly, and it's a hard one as a coach because they play so instinctively, so viscerally.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, they've been the underdog of the tournament, it felt like, and they got the potential to be among the top teams, definitely, and it's not going to be an easy one. They play very well, and but it's, you know, the stage games, we always